JLR investigates Colt Gray copycats are coming out of the woodwork and being arrested left and right all over the state of Georgia. Colt Gray, 14 years old, arrested in connection with the terrible mass shooting at Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia. And since this tragedy mass shooting happened on Wednesday, numerous people throughout the state of Georgia have been arrested for making threats, copycat type of threats against schools and educational institutions around the state of Georgia. I'm going to share this clip with you right here about these arrests, and then we'll further discuss. Check it out.
In the wake of the school shooting, today has seen a flood of school threats across our communities, and with that, several swift arrests.
Now, Fox 5's Kevin Stewart is at the live desk with details. Kevin.
Eric and Courtney, authorities say this is no joke, never has been, especially now. In the past 48 hours, Gwinnett County alone, the school system says it has investigated about 300 social media threats. In Gwinnett County, one county over from the tragic school shooting in Barrow County, two teens face charges in two separate cases. Thursday at Meadow Creek High, a student is accused of making threats against the school on social media.
He admitted that he did it because he wanted to avoid going to school.
At Archer High, a student is alleged to have texted her boyfriend that there was an active shooter situation here. That was a lie.
That student was criminally charged with terroristic threats and is also facing discipline consequences within the school.
A 17-year-old from Flowery Branch, Jamin Justice, and a 13-year-old are similarly charged in Hall County in separate cases. Justice is accused of threatening Cherokee Bluff High. The 13-year-old is accused of doing the same at Johnson High and South Hall Middle School. Friday morning in Cartersville, the school system was put on a soft lockdown at all schools after a since unfounded claim that someone was on the way with a gun to Cartersville Middle School. In Monroe County, 26-year-old Chris Cooper is charged with disseminating information relating to terroristic threats after an incident there.
We take every threat seriously.
Athens-Clarke County PD worked overnight to nab a 12-year-old who allegedly posted pictures of guns implying violence at different schools.
It is a very serious threat, implied or not. So the images of guns, they do this to stir the feelings. They want to make people afraid to go to school. And once that post hits the internet, it is spread to thousands upon thousands of accounts. So that fear is not isolated. You could get up to 5 years in prison for this, even as a juvenile.
Yeah, serious charges there. Now, I can also tell you that a 12-year-old has been charged in Jackson County, a 13-year-old has been charged in Newton County, and we've just learned a 14-year-old has been charged in DeKalb County. Police say this is a good time for families to talk to their kids about the risk of making these types of threats. They will be held accountable. From the live desk, Kevin Stewart, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, good to see authorities are taking these threats seriously and taking action. Kevin, thanks.
Copycats, folks. People have been arrested all over the state of Georgia. Matter of fact, 15 people since this tragedy happened on Wednesday, and today's Saturday. So just in a few days, 15 different people have been arrested for making copycat type of threats. Now, they didn't act like Colt Gray did, but who knows? Maybe they would have, because it's been reported that Colt Gray was making threats before he was going to do the act. But let me give you some specifics right here on some of these people that have been arrested. Check it out. This is a WSB TV2 news report. At least 16 people arrested across Metro Atlanta for making social media threats against schools. In the days since a shooting at Apalachee High School in Barrow County, at least 15 students and an adult have been arrested for making threats against schools on social media. This comes just days after 4 people were killed at Apalachee High School, and 9 people injured. Now check this out right here. Here are the students who have been arrested and charged for making threats. In Athens-Clarke County, a 12-year-old boy has been charged for posting pictures of firearms with the names of various Clarke School officials. Investigators say he did not have any weapons. He's been charged with terroristic threats and detained by the Department of Juvenile Justice in DeKalb County. 14-year-old was arrested for making threats, but school District officials didn't comment on what those threats were. A 12-year-old boy was also issued a summons for contributing to these threats. Forsyth County, a 15-year-old was arrested and charged with making terroristic threats for making an online threat against Pinecrest Academy on Wednesday. He told investigators that it was a joke and he thought it was funny. On Thursday, school resource officers investigated 12 reports of threats to schools across the county. A 14-year-old student at DeSanta Middle School was taken into custody and charged with terroristic threats and disruption of schools. It is unclear if he was responsible for just one of those 12 reports. Gainesville, 14-year-old, was arrested by Gainesville police just a few hours after the Apalachee High School shooting for making threats on social media. The teen was taken to the Regional Youth Detention Center in Gainesville. Gordon County, a 15-year-old was arrested in connection to making threats against a Gordon County school. He's facing charges of disruption of public schools. Gwinnett County, a student at Meadow Creek High School was charged with terroristic threats after posting a photo of guns on social media with the message threatening violence against the school. Another student at Archer High School texted her boyfriend claiming there was an active shooter on campus. She was also arrested and charged with terroristic threats. Hall County, 2 teenagers have been arrested for what deputies describe as dozens of reports of several threats against Hall School officials. Jamin Allen Justice, 17, of Flowery Branch, and a 13-year-old in custody. Justice is being charged as an adult with terroristic threats and acts of disruption or interference with the operation of public schools. He tagged Cherokee Bluff High School in the post. A 13-year-old threatened to perform an act of violence at Johnson High School and South Hall Middle School, according to deputies. That teen was taken to Regional Youth Detention Center in Gainesville to face juvenile complaints of terroristic threats and disruption and interference with the operation of public schools. Another 13-year-old student told his classmates at World Language Academy Middle School that he was going to be the next shooter. He was arrested, charged with terroristic threats and disruption of public school. Jackson County, on the bus Wednesday afternoon, a 15-year-old talked about the Apalachee High School shooting and said he was planning on finishing the job. In a separate incident, there's just so many. In a separate incident in Jackson County on Friday, a 12-year-old East Jackson Middle School student made threats against the school but was absent. He was charged with terroristic threats and public disruption of school and is being held in the Gainesville Regional Youth Detention Center. So that Gainesville Regional Youth Detention Center is probably full of these juveniles. Monroe County, 26-year-old man, Chris Cooper, was accused of making threats against the Monroe County School District on Thursday. Investigators watched him overnight and he was arrested on Friday morning. He's being held in the Monroe County Jail without bond on the charges of dissemination of information related to terroristic acts. Newton County, a 13-year-old, has been charged with threatening students and staff at Eastside High School. He was charged with terroristic threats and acts and is currently being held in the juvenile court system. Oconee County. On Friday morning, deputies were made aware of a student at Malcolm Bridge Elementary School making threats. The threats were deemed not credible, and the student was placed in the Department of Juvenile Justice in custody. Wow, threats all over the place, folks. Since this tragedy happened at Apalachee High School. 16. Wow. Let me know what you think, folks. So, authorities are in full, preventative mode right now, arresting people left and right. And this should be a reminder. If you have, all the kids out there, and if you have, kids out there, teach them. Don't make threats because, there's serious consequences. And it seems like a lot of people now are being held in a detention center in Gainesville, Georgia, but they ain't playing. They're not playing. And, we're praying that these schools somehow become safe. I don't know what they're going to do in Georgia about this terrible tragedy, whether they're going to, get rid of the school and graze the school to the ground like some of the other schools in these terrible mass shootings. But, everyone's on edge. Everyone is on edge. So it's hope and pray there's no more threats, no more mass shootings in the state of Georgia or anywhere in this country. But it looks like authorities are going to arrest people that make the threats. So don't make threats out there. We'll continue to cover this case. The tragedy that occurred Colt Gray, currently in custody, most likely spend the rest of his life in prison, but we will be covering the entire process, him and his dad. Copycats, don't be a copycat. When more information comes out about these copycats, more people get arrested, we will share their faces on JLR Investigate. Subscribe to the channel, like, hit the notification button. We will talk soon. Stay tuned.